All right. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be on vacation. All right. This is what happens. The same thing happened last time I tried to take a break too. I think it was during the off season where I'm taking a week off, and like the next day we signed somebody. So here I am. But this is it. Well, when we get Giroux, I guess I'll come back again. Stu, this wasn't exactly how we had it planned, getting Chiarot or getting defenseman, but how do you like it?
I was a little bit surprised because Lindbaum impressed me, and I know it's just 2 games, but I thought we had found that physical left-handed shot defenseman to fill in this, the sixth slot.
Right.
I guess Zito had some other plans. Do I like the deal? Yeah. I mean, obviously we knew, Frankie V was not going to be re-signing, so we got something for him.
Right.
I like how he went out, though. He hadn't scored for a while, and
Yeah.
I don't know if the team kind of knew something was up or what, because they just mobbed him and showed him a lot of love. So that was really nice. Obviously, nice to win the game. Yeah, I just, now we have a logjam on defense.
Right. Right.
Now we got Lindbaum and Carlson.
Yeah.
2 left-handed shots. I mean, obviously we wanted depth, but
right.
I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Right. So the first thing with Vatrano, look, we knew we was going. That's fine. But were there really no Western Conference teams that we might not possibly play in the Eastern Conference Finals to trade him to? That was my only thing. Was like, not big fan of trading guys to teams that we might play in 2 months. In the playoffs. So, and then they already have the Gallant thing. So now they've got 2 former Panthers at least. But all right, so we get the 4th, and that's basically what we use. And remember, we talked about this as soon as Chicken got hurt. As soon as Chicken got hurt, you knew that the market went up for defensemen. Because as soon as when I first saw it, I said, basically a 1, a 2, and a 4, because we gave up this kid that was a 2nd-round draft pick. I don't know if we give up all of that if Chikrin doesn't get hurt. And look, I'm happy with the deal. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know what ammunition we have left to get Giroux now.
Yeah, as far as draft picks, I don't think Philly wants draft picks. They want players that can play.
They want players.
Let's just say one more thing about Vatrano going to New York. Based on what I just read an article that George wrote about Zito really loving Frank as a person. I think he did him right, trading him to a contender. That's what that's about. Instead of like sticking him with Arizona or Seattle.
Right.
Because he could have got the same 4th-round pick from anybody.
Right.
I think he was doing the player right. So that's that.
All right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, as far as overpaying, I think we've overpaid. I mean, listen, I always wanted Chikrin to come back home, the good, the good vibe feeling,
right.
Your story, whatever. Kid comes back to Boca Raton, but anyway, the days of compiling draft picks,
right,
and based on our past history, we haven't really been that successful draft wise.
Right.
First of all, we're the days of us getting the 1st or 2nd pick in the draft that didn't happen. So we're usually mid draft, 10 to 15 average.
Yeah.
So and this year we're going to go really deep. And of course, if we were in the cup, the 1st-round pick will be number 30. So,
right.
As far as I'm concerned, we're here now. This is the team. We're going all in. I'm all 100% for it. All right. So what?
Right.
So we don't pick up more 17-year-olds
Right.
that
Right.
are
Right.
going to play 5 years down the road.
Right.
We have this puzzle. There might be a piece or two missing from that puzzle. If Chiarot does what we're all expecting him to do, I mean, he's a tough kid. I mean, obviously, last year, he went deep into the playoffs with Montreal. He's a left-handed shot, which I love. I think if he's paired with Montour, that should be a really good combo.
Well, now in George's article, he feels like that gives the Panthers the opportunity to split up Ekblad and Uyghur and put Chiarot up top with Ekblad.
That's what I'd love to see. I mean,
right.
The only reason I've kind of backed away from the Forsling-Ekblad pairing is because Forsling and Uyghur have history.
Right. Yeah,
because they played so good together when Ekblad was out last year. So I'm perfectly okay with Chiarot and Ekblad.
Right.
I just don't see Burnett splitting up, even though he should.
Right.
Maybe now there's a reason, and there's a way out to split them.
And I think
left, right. We got 3 left-right pairings.
Right. And I think what we gave up for him kind of speaks to that, because do we give up that much for a guy that we're planning on putting at the bottom pair? I'm not so sure. I think, to me, but I mean, look, we'll find out. He needs a work visa, so he's not going to play until the 24th, from what I've heard.
What's that?
The visa thing. He needs a work visa, so he won't play until the 24th. So,
well, this kid Ty Similak, whatever, was supposed to be a highly touted prospect.
Right.
Even though he went in the 3rd round, I think.
No, it was the 2nd rounder, but either way. All right, so that happens. And then, basically Zito is saying, and the reporters are saying that we're not done. So, the possibility, obviously, of getting Drew.
Someone mentioned Giordano last night. I don't see that happening.
No. I have a feeling that we might, like we've talked about, pick somebody kind of under the radar, like we said, like a Verhaeghe type that's been underutilized. But then at the same point, Drew's got the experience. You just have to wonder, what are we going to give up for him, especially if they want players?
Yeah, Tippett and Datasenko.
Yeah.
Or a Heponiemi. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think that's going to be enough. They might want one of,
or a Tippett and a Kirstead, or a Tippett and a Carlson. I don't know.
Right.
Listen, were you surprised last night when you heard? I mean, both trades.
I mean, everybody, when Vatrano was gone, everybody kind of assumed that was for Giroux because we were clearing cap space. That's the one thing we should mention is Montreal kept 50% of the salary. So technically, if we made a deal with Philly to, for them to keep some of his cap space, we'd have room. But that costs players, you know what I mean? And now we've given up a one. I don't know. I don't know what ammunition we have left. I mean, if they want players, Tippett. I think I'm smelling 3. So like Tippett, Denisenko, and maybe Carlson because they like Lindbom. You know what I mean? Something like that, or Kierstead. I don't know how.
I personally think Kierstead's the man out.
Right.
And it wouldn't be. I really like the kid, but in this, it's it's business, nothing personal. Right. We really didn't sacrifice anything for Kierstead. He was a walk-on.
Right.
He was a undrafted, signing.
Yeah.
So
at this point now he's 9D. So
he's definitely been squeezed out. But I like the fact that now we've loaded up on left-handed defensemen, which we didn't have.
Right.
I mean, just the last 2 signings, the Lindbom and now the Chiarot. Now we have. I mean, I'm a proponent of the left-right defensive pairing.
Yep. No, I agree. I agree with you there.
I just
And
think it's a much more efficient, combination.
right. Well,
I know we're gonna keep this video short,
yeah.
but I do have to mention, the Uyghur situation and how he's been playing and how maybe splitting them up and putting Uyghur with Forsling to cover for Uyghur's mistakes
Right.
would be a good thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't necessarily disagree. Look, we are hyper focused on them, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, but what some people have to realize is that those Uyghur and Ekblad are our kids' age. So we're watching them from a little bit of a different angle. We see what they could be, and we might sound like we're bitching and complaining a lot, but it's because we want them to be the best version of themselves. So let's start there. And yeah, I think they would both be served better by getting split up, because Uyghur really should be playing the Ekblad role on the second line. He's got the talent to do that. The problem they run into is when you, for either one, Ekblad or Uyghur, when you play that style where you're going to take offensive risks, etc., it's going to work 70% of the time, but 30% of the time you're going to give the puck up, etc. Okay, fine. But if both guys on the same pairing are doing that, then that's when you have a problem. So if you won't notice, Ekblad could, or Uyghur could go to the second pairing with Forsling and play the same exact game. But like you said, you won't notice the mistakes because Forsling will be there to cover for him. So it's not a matter of either one of them being bad. It's like having Dan Marino throw the ball to Dan Marino. No, you need to have the proper pairing. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I just, as good as they are statistically and analytically as a pair, I think they would actually give us two pairs of the same quality if they got split up. And I hope that that's what Chiarot is about.
Yeah, that's it. Again, I don't know why they haven't been split up, already.
Right.
Because coaching staff has to see what we've been seeing. And I don't think they're going to go to these guys and say, listen, you can't stick handle anymore, or,
Right.
can't do. They're not going to try and change the guy's game, completely.
Right.
But I just think having a stabilizing force playing with either one of them.
Right.
Because Chiarot is, as far as I know, is more as a stay back, defenseman rather than be the offensive minded defenseman.
Right.
He's big, he's tough. I don't know about putting a lot of pressure on him off the bat by moving him up to the top pairing. I don't know if that's going to happen, but obviously we'll have to wait and see what, again, chemistry is important also.
Well, that's the thing. You've talked about that before, where we needed to get somebody, if they were going to mix, change the defensive pairings, we needed somebody to come in sooner than later, because it takes 10, 20 games. It's like I was explaining to somebody, the screw up that cost us a goal in the first goal the other day with Montour and Lindbohm. And everybody's screaming, oh, Lindbohm got beat with speed. No. What happened there was Montour did not recognize that Lindbohm had passed his man off to Montour quick enough, because they're not used to playing with each other. If you watch Lindbohm, he didn't get beat with speed. He did get beat, but then he picked up the man to cover the back door, and Montour didn't recognize it soon enough. And that's simply just a communication thing that happens when guys haven't played together. So for everybody saying, he got blasted by, that was a very, very small part of it. If that had been a pairing where they'd been playing 20 games together, Montour would have recognized that possibility, or they probably would have just, they would have had that communication that Lindbohm wouldn't have even been trying to keep up with that guy. He would have just passed him off to Montour, and Lindbohm went to the net to cover the back end. So
I really like this kid. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not a kid. He's a vet.
Yeah.
But I really like, I like his play, and he didn't look bad the other night.
No, look.
Nothing really stood out. No monster hits or whatnot. But
Right.
he's another. We've added. We used to be such a soft team, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
That we always got pushed around, and
Yep.
now you see if one guy gets hit a certain way, we're all over the offender.
Yep.
So as far as tightening up in front of the net, as I mentioned the other night, that Uyghur didn't box his man out. I think it was Logan Couture. Not that you have to interfere with him, but just trying to take his stick away didn't work. I mean, that's a situation where in the heat of the battle, you're in front of the crease, man. You want to take the body and not give him the opportunity to tip it in.
Right.
But I'm excited. I'm excited because, and again, we got to look at Zito's track record. I don't really think he's made any clunker trades or clunker signings.
Well, I still am not a huge fan of the Joe Thornton thing, but I'm gonna keep bitching about Thornton until he scores the game-winning cup goal. That's just all there is to it.
And he played good. He played good the other night.
Did he play okay the other night?
Yeah, he held his own.
Well, he had 3 months off. I mean, I could look good after 3 months off.
But I mean, listen, you and I both said why, but we know why.
Yeah, I know.
It will be a very, very good PR move, feel good story if we win the cup and Barkov hands the cup to Joe.
Right.
That will be a moment that will be documented, and then Joe can retire,
right,
go out on top. And it was just basically a 1 year,
right,
thing.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Tonight's the night. Chiarot plays his 1,000th game with the Flyers.
Right.
Maybe he'll get a goal or two or whatever, and then maybe tomorrow we'll wake up and see. But the big question is, if it's Chiarot, number one, who are we going to give up? Are we going to overpay for a guy that may only be a 1 year rental? He might decide to go back to the Flyers. I don't think that will happen.
Right. Well, it could be even afford to sign him, whether or not we could even afford to sign him to, another year deal. That's a whole nother.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a problem, once the season ends and they try and figure out, they do the shuffling of the money. But the bigger question is, if we get him, we know he's a great player. How does the Verhaeghe, Barkov, Chiarot combo, how does the chemistry work?
Right.
How quickly will he get acclimated with those two?
Right.
And what kind of immediate impact will Chiarot make on the team? Hopefully, I mean, like Reinhardt said to himself, it took him 20 games to finally get comfortable.
Yeah.
And look what he's done now.
Right.
I don't think we have 20 games for Chiarot to kind of, get in, so to speak. We need some immediate results.
Right.
That's why I'm thinking, he may or may not be the answer. But
we'll find out soon enough.
The fact that Elliot Friedman and Pierre LeBrun are the two guys that I always go to for. I mean, those guys.
Yeah, they get it right.
When they're talking about it, it's kind of sort of almost like that's the deal. So
yeah. Well,
like
hopefully
it will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. So
we'll either wake up.
Either way, I mean, we got a game to play tonight.
Right.
Hopefully we'll Vegas is in a tight race for their I think either the third position or the wild card, but I hate Vegas. I hate Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Marchessault's got 25 goals.
Sure.
So That would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
To
Yeah.
have Marchessault and Barkov together for,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to talk about, I already, don't get me started.
So anyway, I don't know if Bob's back tonight, but
Hey, Spencer.
yeah.
At least Spencer's been playing well, so we'll give it that. All right, guys, that was it. Short and sweet. We just wanted to. I saw the trades yesterday. Truth of it is, my phone blew up with requests, so I said, "All right, I will make a call." I'm like Tom Brady. I stayed retired for a day.
Yeah, it's called dedication, man.
Right. But I'm still taking these next 2 nights off. With Kyle's birthday today, we're going. I got to take him into town to get subs and dessert, and then we're going bowling. Then we're gonna come home. Then he's gonna force us to watch whatever movie he wants to watch, which that's gonna be pleasant. He's a big superhero movie guy, so I have a feeling I'm watching some kind of.
So listen, if something happens tomorrow,
something happens tomorrow,
we might end up doing another video.
Yeah. If we make
and if not, But listen, comments, guys. Let's see, what everybody else has to say about the trade and the prospects of getting Giroux or whoever.
Yep.
And
Yep. And last thing I'll say is one bad Steve, you should have a package arriving in the mail today or tomorrow. And with that, I'll see you guys later.
What did he win? The Frank Vatrano card?
No. It's a surprise.
Oh, okay.